part of the opening night film, the first by a woman, which is crazy.
It's incredible. As I've told everyone, I'm honored. I'm honored when we got into the film fest and found out, which was right after South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Especially the beautiful words that Alan sent Jen, and then to open the fest. I don't know if I will ever get over it in my entire life, because specifically this fest is so cool, but it's a fucking punk rock slasher film.
Yeah.
In London, I can't, and I just ran here from Camden, like looking at any old history that's there, because I'm part of sort of the New Jersey, New York City punk scene for a very long time. So I wanted to see how it was there, because the New York City scene is very obsessed with like New York hardcore music and like English street punk. Because we call it, and on set, like when we were looking at their costumes, I said it's their gear, but no one else uses that term except for like the English people and people in New York City. I guess all over the world it's like their outfits or their leather jacket, but it's like it's their gear. So I made sure that I was hawk over people's gears and how they like lace their boots and how their patches looked. It's all hand screen printed. And the music, like anything Jen wanted, like I wanted to bring that authenticity for her all the time in the film.
Yeah, because I asked the guys if they were punk rock fans and they said no, but you obviously are. Yeah. So is that what kind of attracted you?
I actually look this way all the time.
Yeah.
It evolved. I used to have long green and blue hair for most of my life, but I always wanted to have a hawk of some sort. So this might be my ultimate form, which is a little bit of Mad Max. It's a little bit like 77 Westwood, a combination. So, but I would drive them around in my car and listen to like TSOL and the Misfits and tell them old CBGB stories. Granite, the first time he met me was at a punk show in Ballery Electric because Jen bought him tickets to see what was going on. I can't even tell you who was there.
Sorry, that's just...
It had to be a California band. It might have been Agent Orange.
So, stupid question, but what attracted you to this project in the first place?
Well, Jen is a close friend of mine, almost like a sister. 3 years ago, I was sitting at a bar at Fantasia Film Fest at a pub, and I gave her notes on the script, and I said, how do you know how my friends act? Because one of the funniest things is that sometimes I'll see reviews of the films that the kids are obnoxious, and I go, listen, I know I'm obnoxious. I know my friends are obnoxious. You don't need to put it in print, but they remind me authentically of my ball-busting East Coast punk rock friends who all make fun of each other but love each other. It's that sort of sense of humor and camaraderie that they have, and the family when you don't have a family, all around sort of a look and a music.
So, I mean, metal is kind of more associated with horror movies, which is weird. Why do you think punk rock hasn't really got a shot yet, or hasn't had a shot in years?
I have no idea.
It's a good fit.
Because it's like you have the high watermark. I'm going to say the high watermark of a metal movie is The Gate. I think you can't go as high as a movie like The Gate. And on the other side, the most punk rock fucking horror film is Return of the Living Dead, of all things. But I also want to go in there is that, for me, the most punk rock soundtrack, the reason that I found the music that I love that felt like myself inside, is from this movie called Fear No Evil. And that is where I heard the Sex Pistols. And that is when I felt, and again, why does this music sound exactly how I feel? Because on that soundtrack it's Sex Pistols, Rezillos, Ramones, Suicide. I think it's an unspoken about horror soundtrack. But I don't have a good answer about why there's not punk rock in the world, because when I've been part of the film scene for a bit, like industry and also fan-wise, it's filled with a lot of metal folk and a lot of goth folk. I don't even see within that world a lot of punk rock folk.
There isn't much crossover, but there really should be. It doesn't make any sense.
Because all my punk rock friends are obsessed with horror movies, and specifically the villains. So let me tell you, when I read the script and I go, these sound like my asshole friends, it was because of the killer of the film, the Ranger, that I deeply identified with, because he's fucking hardcore as hell and committed, and I go, I want to play this character, that's why we should make this movie. But number one reason, I think I told Jen on the phone, she didn't connect the dots. It's like, Jen, I made this film because you wanted to have it made. I made it because you wanted it done. It's like anything you handed me, I would have helped you make. So number one reason is because I love Jen. So that's why this film exists, and which is the most punk rock reason of all, right? Because you're crew, right? So I love her, and I knew that I could bring a lot to it because I could invite that community to be a part of that film because of my history and the people that I know.
Just really quickly, favorite punk band of all time. You can do old, new, whatever you want.
The Misfits, because I'm from fucking Jersey. Yeah. And my favorite Misfits song is Last Caress.